Hi, I'm going to show you how I put roofs on my nest boxes and the extent I go to protect them. These are all made out of marine ply actually, so it's a quite expensive external grade ply. I've put 3 coats of masonry paint on, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fit metal plates to the front of my boxes to protect the entrance hole. This will prevent grey squirrels from gaining access, and even woodpeckers. So woodpeckers and grey squirrels are the main culprits for the damage I received on my nest boxes. So you have to go to these extents to protect them really. Now you don't have to do this, it's already been painted on the back, but I like to actually add some felt on the back as well, so it's being protected up against a tree. Some of these will end up on beech trees, and the bark is quite smooth on a beech tree, and the rain just floods down the sides of it, and obviously that's going to come into contact with my nest boxes. So I do this as extra protection. I showed you in previous videos how I make these roofs, and this is how I fit them. So I centralise it, make sure everything is nice and tight, and then I can try and get 3 roofing cleats right in the corners if I can, without damaging, you see that, without damaging the felt. It's quite easy to puncture the felt if you're not careful. So I'm always very careful when I do that. If you did puncture the felt, then all you have to do really, you could cut a bit of damp corporate. There's damp course to put on the top of it, that will protect it. As you know, there is a piece of damp course underneath anyway, so if this felt roof did break down or grey squirrels were chewing it, nothing would go down the back of the lid because I still got my damp course fitted. Okay, so let's cut this to size. It's really, really heavy, you know. So I tuck those little tails around the back. Keep them in place with staples for now. And then I cut the excess pieces on the sides here to the shape of the nest box. All will become clear in a sec. And then this is going to tuck down over the back like this, okay? And then I always use staples to keep it in place. Okay, and that's the finished article. So no rain's going to get into the sides. The roofing material felt overlaps this, so no rain's going to get in through there either. Alright? Now if you wanted to, you could put little catches on these to lock these roofs. But that's the finished article there, okay? I'll go through it once more time. Just get another nest box. So I've got about 15, well actually more than that, about 18 sites in total. I've got 150 barn boxes erect all around Gwent and some parts of Powys also. And then I've got these little tint boxes, I call them. Obviously they're intended for pied flycatchers, reds, that type of bird. I actually monitor 1,000 on my local estate, Landover estate, and I must, you know, over the 20-year period I've made well over 7,000 of these by a hand, believe it or not. And I actually monitor I've got 1,000 of my own, but I've made nest boxes for ecology units, local authorities, individuals, all over the UK. Now for me, it's a lot of time and money gone into my project, so I'm taking the necessary precautions of adding these little bits and pieces to my nest boxes for the longevity mainly. I want these to last. Like I said, the weather is quite brutal where I live, especially on the Ballybrush Yon, Pregnant Beacons. So this is why I add all this. Some people say it's OTT over the top. Yeah, it possibly is, but it's the way I do it. I have much success. I had 56 pairs of pied flycatcher nested in my nest boxes this year. With 3 redstarts returning as well. No spotted fly. Well, I don't think I had any spotted fly. I've not received all the data yet, but we did have a couple of spotted fly. But it has been a bit of a disaster this year. Out of the 56 pairs of pied flycatchers, only a handful managed to rear a full clutch of chicks. Most were really small clutches or clutches that failed completely, which was an absolute shame because obviously these migrant birds, they travel thousands of miles from Central Africa to raise a clutch of chicks, and for one to fail, it's just devastating. So I haven't been in a very good mood this year. I've been just worried that the lack of insects and invertebrates this year is just worrying, it really is. I mean, it boils down to the weather as well, not just the lack of insects, but I mean the weather did play a huge part. So I'm hoping next year will be a better year. Blue tits and great tits have suffered tremendously on my sites. Loads and loads of failed nests. I mean, great tits are capable of doing another clutch, but blue tits, they only make 1 clutch a year. So it's devastating for them to fail. Net hatches did well. They lay eggs slightly earlier than all the other birds, and the weather sort of favoured them this year. Blue tits, great tits, pied fly and redstarts really suffered this year on my sites. That's not to say that they might have done better elsewhere in the UK, but my sites were really bad. Okay, so that's how I fit the rooms on my nest boxes.